Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question. And that is really, what is up with the power thing? What is it about a individual that drives them to want to have control or manipulate others, to fool them, to pathologically lie, meaning tell them a whole series of stories, untruths, hiding things, hiding aspects of their lives, people that they're dating, businesses that they're doing, way that they're siphoning their funds away from the family, if you're in a family with them. What is the cause of this need for power to control over others? What is going on there? What is this about? What are they thinking? So when we look at the psychology of someone who is malignant in this way, unhealthy in this way, or even to the point where they're psychopathic, antisocial, predatory mindset, people who do not have a connectivity of emotion, which is energy in motion, which allows you the ability to love and connect and care for others in a non-judgmental manner that is also permeated with the absence of fear. So love really is the absence of fear and the absence of that judgment. It's a feeling of acceptance and then the flow that comes from that. And however you have experienced that in your life, you must remember and tap into that feeling now and realize oftentimes, those true moments are truly blissful. And even though someone might have been playing music or cooking, they're not doing it to have power over you. Chances are the true experiences are when those people are acting from their true passion without fear. There is a whole compounding or confounding of experience, where you're experiencing that. And it's about collaboration and coming together and the ability to listen and kind of exist in that quantum field. Now, a narcissist, malignant narcissist, or a psychopath has an insatiable need to control others, to have power over others. That is how they derive pleasure. And especially in the advent of the psychopath, they take pleasure or reward from seeing others in pain. So just as you might think of something that you have pleasure of, riding a bike, looking at painting, listening to music, eating delicious food, something that you have pleasure and you take pleasure in, imagine on the flip side if this was someone who is taking pleasure from hurting others. So just as you would seek out what makes you happy or gives you quote-unquote pleasure, pleasure is different from happiness. There's definitely a line between the two. But if you are with someone who, or have encountered somebody, it's generally not a relationship, because you truly can't have a relationship with these types of people who want to have control over others. It's not a give and take relationship. It's a situation. It is an experience. It is not a relationship. So their need for power is derived by a satisfaction that they have it's how they derive their substance for life. So imagine that if you had no feeling within, if you did not have the ability to love, care for, or really want to listen to others, but yet you have to exist in the world, and you felt that this was like a superpower of yours, that you were not quote unquote held up with superficial things like saying, how are you? Let's look for this. Let's have a mission for that. Let's have this as our protocol for our doctoral practice or our dentistry or our bank or our art gallery or whatever it is. You just, were more like, how can I quickly escalate up this food chain and get to the top and control and get to where all the, the contacts, the money, breaking the rules, if that's what drove you pleasure, see, and then taking advantage of others was part of this. So taking advantage of others would be part of your decision-making process. So just like your pleasure that you take, let's say you take pleasure in eating a good meal, And so you go and you do the grocery shopping and you look at the spices, or you look at the ingredients and you get the cookware and you get the recipes, just as that, and then you would make, do you see what I'm saying? It creates a whole decision-making process for them to get to that state. And so if you've encountered this, which generally people, I would say most people will encounter a sort of difficult relationship at some point in their life. And the degree to which they find themselves surrounded by these people has a lot to say about, maybe their upbringing or what they've gone through and why they would, try to find solace or relationships with these people who cannot have relationships. They're not emotionally capable. Because if someone has an entitlement issue and will just take whatever it is they want, they will turn, it's like the ultimate fair weather friend. I mean, they are only there to get whatever it is on the outer appearance of whatever it is, status. I mean, you name it, you can name it. So it is a driving motivational force within them, and it is how they get ahead. And so you can call it arrogant, cocky, quicksand, whatever it is. Realize that if you have found yourself in that energy field where you're around someone who is taking your energy and has targeted you because you have an abundance of these things, it's like you've just found the ultimate recipe. You've just found some good supply. So that's how these people are. And then it's just kind of like they will devalue and discard it because then they still have the power. No matter what you say or do, you are up against them. And so it's kind of like they are continuing to control the process the whole way through. You can never have your say. I mean, eventually when you're with it, it becomes intolerable. You're like, this person is, has an issue, and it is what it is, and I'm not crazy. It would be crazy if you stuck around and continued to complain. I mean, eventually, after years, you're going to get it. You're going to see it clearly. It's like, okay, oh my gosh, I've got this. It is what it is. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to underreact. I'm going to deal with it with grace. And to be mad at the person, be mad at yourself, that's going to take a lot of energy. That's going to take a lot of time out of your life. And so, having power and control, a psychopath who is constantly, deliberately plotting, planning, scheming, seeing what they can get away with, oftentimes is part of what gets them excited. Hyper arousing people, taking advantage of people in very uncomfortable situations. Seeing them uncomfortable makes their heart race. The fact that they can have, 2 women at a time and have them, missing each other by 5 minutes, meeting each other by 30 seconds, seeing a glimpse of them with this person while they're leaving to pick you up. I mean, these are the sort of tensions that they live by. And, if they have a propensity, like in the psychopath, to boredom, where they need to engage in this hyper arousal state and go after whatever it is that they need, including violence, including violating of your boundaries, hyper arousal, getting you distracted, getting you into that psychologically hijacked state of gaslighting, and that psychopath, it is not an exciting place to be. It is a terrifying place to be. And in the beginning, it might have been a place of solace for you because this person was decisive or strong, or you bought into the charm. But then you realize, pretty soon, this is not getting normal. This is not working out. We're not like 2 peas in the pod. It's like you're in a constant touche battle with a knife. And you must then find a knife, sharpen a knife, and carry a knife with you always. And then you're like, you know what? I'm not a sword carrying type of person. I don't like to keep a sword in my back pocket. I don't want to keep a grinding stone around, so I have to constantly grind my knife. So every time I see you, I have to touche. It is not a good lifestyle for a lot of people. So if you have found yourself in that touche situation, battling for power, they think it's normal. It is not. Don't feel crazy by saying, no, I'm out of here. I'm disgusted. I'm going to vomit. Somebody throw me a garbage can because I'm going to blow one right now. it gets to be disgusting, and you want maybe to put an end to it. And so then you're like, I have to put an end to this. I'm going to call my family. I'm going to do this. You know, you're kind of like, it's kind of like, you know, you cannot change them. It's like you cannot change, you know, certain things about people. There are certain things that it's very difficult and rough to influence, and these people are incorrigible or very resistant to change. They are not open. You need to be open to receive change and to, you know that you want, and then to follow up and do, and then see, and then have, and then adjust. Just like any business that needs to adapt and adjust, they'll take certain things into account. We should do this, you know, boom, we're changing it up. We're trying this. This works. You know, it's not about what works for the two of you. It's only what works for them. And oftentimes it'll be very one-sided, blind-sided, and not make a lot of sense. So I hope that discussion helps. It is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. And as always, I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.